Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you 7 different ways on how to manipulate your front shoulder dart. If you are yet to see the tutorial on this basic bodice block, I'll be dropping a link in the description box. Kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so whenever I drop a new video, you'll be notified. I will begin with the basic shoulder dart. This basic shoulder dart was achieved while drafting the basic bodice block. I will use my marker to indicate that we are working on the shoulder dart. Then I'm going to be coming up from the nipple point, come up by 5 cm or 4 cm and mark the midpoint and connect it back to the dart leg. It's always necessary for you to come up 4 to 5 cm from your nipple point so that when you stitch up the dart, it won't be sitting directly on your nipple point, because if you sit directly on your nipple point, it will be looking funny. So I'll go ahead to cut off the excess paper that I don't need. Okay, so when you stitch up this dart, it will be looking like the picture on the screen. Moving on to the second dart, which is the underarm dart. Okay, so the underarm dart, from the underarm, I'm going to be coming down 6 cm. Come down 6 cm from the underarm and connect with a straight line to the bust point. I'm going to be slashing that open and close up the shoulder dart. When you close up the shoulder dart, the underarm dart will automatically open. So this is the slash and spread method of transferring your dart to the underarm. I'm going to be taping that down with a paper tape, and I will add extra paper underneath the underarm and tape that down as well. After taping it down, I'm going to be coming out from the nipple point 5 cm or 4 cm depending on what you want. Okay, so I'm going to be coming out by 5 cm and mark the midpoint and connect it back to the dart leg just like so. Okay, so I'm just going to connect that close at this end. Okay, so I'm just going to form a triangular shape there, so when I stitch my dart, it will meet very well, just like so. So that is it for the arm dart. So when you stitch it up, it's going to be looking like the picture on the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that off, and that is our underarm dart. The number 3 dart is the neckline dart. Okay, so for the neckline dart, I'm going to be putting my tape this way and measure what I have around the neckline. Okay, I'm going to be marking the midpoint of that and draw a diagonal line to meet the nipple point, just like so. I'll be slashing up the line that we just drew at the neckline. Okay, so when I slash that open, it's going to allow me to close up the shoulder dart. Okay, so now we're going to be transferring the shoulder dart to the neckline. I'll close up the shoulder dart and use my paper stay to tape that down in place. Okay, so once I close it, you will notice that the neckline dart open. Okay, so I'm going to be taping that down, and I'll be adding extra paper underneath the neckline dart and also tape that down in place. So just watch what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be closing up this neckline dart just like so. Okay, I'm going to close it up to meet the initial line before. Okay, as you can see the way I close it. Now I'm going to bring my tracing wheel and trace that line. So I'm doing this so that when I close the neckline, when I stitch up the dart, it's going to align very well. Now I'm going to highlight the line that was traced, and I'll cut off the excess paper around the pattern. And when you stitch up the neckline dart, it's looking like the picture on the screen. So from the nipple point, you also come up 5 cm, okay, and connect it back to the dart leg just like so. So the number 4 dart is the center front dart. Okay, so the center front dart, from the neckline, I came down on 8 inches, okay, and I drew a straight line to connect to the nipple point. Then I slashed that open. So now I'm going to be closing up my shoulder dart and use my masking tape to tape that in place. Now I'm going to be adding extra paper underneath the center front dart, and I'll come out by 4 cm. All right, so from the nipple point I came out by 4 cm and connect it back to the dart leg just like so. So the center front is going to be cut on twos, all right? So when you cut it on twos and you stitch down the dart, it's going to be looking like the picture we have on the screen. Now we're going to cut off the excess paper, and that is it for the center front dart. This our shoulder dart on the bodies can be moved anywhere you want it on this bodies. Okay, depending on the style you're working with, you can move it around anywhere you want. Now moving on to the next dart, which is the waist dart. Okay, now for the waist dart, you're going to be drawing a straight line to meet the nipple point. I'm going to be slashing the middle line open just like so and close up the shoulder dart. Now the shoulder dart has been transferred to the waistline. So I'll be taping that down with my paper stay, and I will add extra paper underneath the waist dart. I'm going to also tape that down so it can stay in place. I'm going to be marking the midpoint exactly where our initial dart was before our waist dart. So I'm just going to mark the midpoint there and connect it back to the initial dart leg. So if you have watched the tutorial up to this point, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are yet to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so whenever I drop a new tutorial, you'll be notified. Give me a thumbs up, comment and share this video so others can benefit from it. Now we are going to be moving to the concealed dart, the shoulder princess dart and armhole princess dart. Okay, so we're going to be working on the shoulder princess dart. I'll roll a straight line from the waist dart to the nipple point. That will form our shoulder princess dart. Okay, I'll slightly curve that just like so. So the shoulder dart and the waist dart are concealed together to form a princess seam line. So I'm just going to use my marker to indicate how we are going to be cutting it off. All right. So when you cut it off and stitch it together, it's going to be looking like the picture on the screen. Adding half-inch seam allowance around the seam line. Okay, then you stitch it up and it will be looking like what is on the screen. So next we're going to be moving on to the armhole princess dart. So for the armhole princess dart, you're going to measure around your armhole and find the midpoint. This armhole princess dart, you can decide to place your armhole princess dart wherever you want it around the armhole, depending on the style line you're working with. So I measure around the armhole and mark the midpoint. Now I'm going to be connecting that to the nipple point just like so. Now I'll connect the waist dart to the nipple point with a straight line just like so. Okay. I'm going to slash that open and close up the shoulder dart. So when I close up the shoulder dart, the armhole dart will open up. I'm just going to close up the shoulder dart and use my paper tape to tape that down. So after taping it down, I'm going to slightly curve the nipple point to the waist dart. Okay, just like so. After curving it, I will just use my marker to indicate that I'm cutting off this part. Okay, the waist dart. So after cutting it off, you also add half of an inch seam allowance around the seam line. All right. Then when you stitch that up, it will also be looking like what we have on the screen. Okay, so that is all for this tutorial. Hope you find this video helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do so. Turn on your notification bell so whenever I drop a new video, you'll be notified. Give me a thumbs up, comment and share this video. Thanks for watching. See you in my next one. Bye for now.